Hey guys, it's Esiri and welcome back to my YouTube channel. How you doing? Hello, my name is Esiri. If this is your first time of clicking into any of my videos, I hope you do subscribe if you enjoy my content, and if you already subscribe, thank you for coming back to watch another video. I really appreciate your support. So guys, as it says in the title, today I'm going to be talking about things that I am glad I did with Carson, who's my husband, before we got married. Again, these are like my personal things. These are things that I did personally for myself that I'm happy I did. I'm not saying that this is what every girl should do. These are just like my personal experiences of things I did, and I wanted to share them with you guys. So yeah, let's just jump straight right into the things that I wanted to share with you guys today. Oh my god guys, there is a really loud machinery thing going on in my background outside. I hope you guys can hear it, but if you can hear it, I sincerely apologize for that. But yeah, the first thing I want to share with you guys today is I am glad that I lived with my husband before we got married. Now I know that there is some, oh my god, isn't it so loud? I'm sorry guys. I know there is some, talks about, oh, you shouldn't live with a guy before marriage. Why I 100% agree. I mean, let me not say 100%. Why I agree to a very large extent that you shouldn't live with a guy before marriage, especially for a long period of time. That's where I draw the line. Don't live with a guy for a long period of time. Let's say, for example, if you're dating a guy, you've been dating for a while, and you guys are like engaged and you're about to be married. I feel like before you get married and make that big commitment, you're already engaged, you already know you're moving towards the next step. I 100% think you should live with this person for a short period of time and know what it's like to live together, because there's a huge difference between going to your boyfriend's house every weekend or every other day than actually living together for a period of time. So I really think that, or rather I'm very glad that I did this. Now again, I didn't do this when Carson and I were engaged or anything. We kind of moving together just out of necessity. just to give you guys a little backstory. So this was in 2015 when we were in the UK. This was like around October of 2015. At this time, we were done with our program already. Like, we've submitted our dissertation, we were done with school, but we still had about 3 to 4 months left on our visa before our visa expires, before we go home. But we didn't just want to go home yet, so we wanted to still be in the UK for the remainder of the time we had. And we were living in school accommodations at this time. We were living separately in different accommodations, but because when October came around and we're done with school, we're no longer like technically students at the school anymore. Our stay at like the school accommodation expired, and obviously they can't renew it for us anymore because we're not students. So Carson and I were like, you know what, you and I still want to be in the country for the short period of time. We might as well just live together. So like I said, it was out of necessity. It wasn't really because we kind of wanted to, but I'm very glad that it happened, because as you would know or may not know, Carson and I actually had long distance for 2 years. And if we hadn't had those, because I think we stayed together for like 3 months before we both went back to our various countries, if we didn't have those 3 months together, there would have not been any other time for us to do that. So I'm very glad that we stayed together. It kind of made me know Carson a little bit more, like, what's this person like? Because before then I would see Carson often, like I would go to his place like almost every day, but there's a huge difference. Trust me, there's a huge difference just spending 24 hours with this person. And also you also get to know if you can actually stand this person for like an extended period of time. Because if this is someone you want to have a life commitment with, there's some boxes you need to tick, like, is this person gonna irritate me at some point? I mean, to be fair, our partners irritate us too sometimes, but it's like, does this the irritation, is this something I can take? I'm actually very glad that we lived together. We lived together for like 3 months, like I said. And again, like I said, even though I know why people say you shouldn't live with a man, you shouldn't live with a boyfriend before marriage, I agree, but I would say you should do it, but for a short period of time. Like I said, if you're engaged to be married, absolutely go for it, because I feel like it will kind of help you a lot to know more about the person and for you to know how you really feel being in the same space with that person, if you're comfortable with sharing space and that. Okay guys, another thing, the second thing I'm going to be talking about when it comes to things I'm glad I did with my husband before we got married. This one is a little bit, Yes, I'm glad we did the do before marriage. I am not ashamed to say it. I'm a grown woman and I can do whatever I want with my body. Now, I'm not telling you to go and do it. Please don't come and say Esiri said you should do it before marriage. I'm not telling you to go and do it, but I'm just saying I'm glad I did it because for personal reasons, I want to be sure that that we are sexually compatible. I kudos to anybody who is not before marriage. Everybody has their own personal reasons, but I'm very glad I did it. I wanted to be very sure that I don't want to be surprised. We are now married and now it is the time to, you know, and I'm like, excuse me sir, what are we working with? And can, like, no, I had to know, and I'm glad I did it. No regrets. There's that. Let's move on. Okay guys, the third thing that I'm going to talk about, oh, this machinery is annoying me. I'm really sorry guys if you can hear it in the background. I'm very sorry. But the third thing I'm going to be talking about that I'm glad I did with my husband before we got married is talk. Guys, we talked, and we did most of this talking when we were long distance, when we couldn't see each other, because when we were long distance we were very kind of really sure that we really wanted to be with each other. Like, we knew that we wanted to get married to each other at some point, so we had to talk. And this I would advise every couple to do. Talk. That nothing should be off the table, right? We talked about kids. Do you want to have kids? How many kids do you want to have? Where are we gonna live? What do you think about, you know, like, you know, things like, do you want me to work? Am I gonna work? House roles, gender roles. We literally talked about everything, and we talked about things that could be deal breakers for us. Not to go into details of what we talked about, there were some things that were deal breakers, but we had to compromise. And also, speaking of compromising, sometimes you're gonna have to compromise when you talk about these things. But I'm gonna say, even if you're gonna compromise, do not compromise on things that are very important to you, things that are very important to your beliefs and stuff. For example, let's say you're talking with your partner about, you know, okay, when we get married, I would still love to continue working as a woman, and your husband is like, or your partner is like, no, I would want my wife to be, you know, a stay-at-home wife, a stay-at-home mom, to take care of the family, take care of the kids. If you know deep down in your heart that being a stay-at-home wife and mom is not something you would love to do, do not compromise on that, because that would affect you later. You might start to resent your partner, you know, you might start to think, oh, your partner held you back. You get what I mean? So when some things are very core to you, whatever those things may be, don't compromise on those things. But there are some things you would have to compromise on, because, you know, you're two people coming together from different backgrounds, different beliefs, trying to merge your beliefs together and make it one. Obviously there's going to be some things that you don't think alike. There's some, you know, things that you guys don't see, I wouldn't say eye to eye on, but you guys don't agree on. You have to kind of compromise on those things. So yeah, we talked a lot, and I'm very glad we did that, because it kind of like just gave us an idea. Okay, since when we go into this marriage, we kind of have an idea of like, when it comes to like the things that are important to us. Obviously marriage, it's a learning process every day. There's no rule book to it, like everything just happens. You don't plan everything, but there are some things that you can plan, right? Even though they may not go according to plan, but at least you can plan for some things. And the things you can plan for, I advise you talk about those things with your partner. And I'm very glad that Carson and I talked about those things, no matter how heavy those things may have been, but we were very open and we talked about it, and I'm very glad we did that. So the last thing I'm going to be talking about when it comes to things I'm glad I did with my partner, with my husband before we got married, is this one is very just for us. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? This is just pertaining to us, not like just in general, but it's that I'm very glad that we were long distance. Maybe not for as long as we were, but I'm glad that we experienced long distance. I don't know if we've ever shared that on this channel before, but Carson and I were long distance for 2 years. For 2 good years we didn't see each other. After we finished our program in the UK in 2015, you know, Carson went back home early December, and I think the next week I flew to join him in Canada. I spent 2015 Christmas with Carson and his family. It was very, very nice. And you know, I was gonna leave at the end of the month on the 30th of December. You know, the day was coming closer, and you know, at this point we kind of already knew we wanted to do long distance, because it's something we kind of already talked about, like, are we gonna do it? But you know, it doesn't really set until the day comes when you're gonna say goodbye to each other. And you know, so it took me to the airport. It was a very emotional day. And you know, and the thing is, we didn't even think we were gonna be long distance for as long as we were. We thought it was gonna be 6 months because we had plans, but as you know, sometimes plans don't go the way you planned it, right? We're like, oh, it's just gonna be for 6 months. 6 months turned into 2 years, guys. Honestly, I left Canada December 30th 2015, and Carson and I did not see each other until December 28th 2017. That's 2 days shy away from being exactly 2 years. But I'm very, very glad we did that. It's a huge part of our journey, and it played a very, very huge role in our relationship. One thing that I'm glad, or one thing I would say that long distance did for us, it really helped us build our trust in each other. Because for you to be in a long distance relationship, you have to trust your partner, right? For like 2 years, that's a really long time, right? Yeah, it built our trust in the relationship. And maybe one day we'll sit down here and talk about our long distance, but Carson doesn't like talking about it because he says it gives him PTSD because it's like, that was a traumatic time of my life. I don't want to go through it again. But going through long distance really, if it didn't do anything at all, one thing it did for me was it really made me finalize, like, made me be so secure in my decision to be with Carson, because Carson fought for the relationship. Like, there were times, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to give up. I can't believe I'm saying this online. I wanted to give up because long distance was hard, but Carson was like, we can pull through, you can do this. And I'm very glad that, you know, I pulled through and we're here today. Like, one thing long distance did for us was it just showed me that, yeah, Carson is the person I want to go all the way with, because my man would do anything. He would fight for me, he would do anything to be with me. And I'm very, very glad that we did that, even though it's not something we planned, but it was something that was inevitable. That's why I said this one is very specific to our relationship, because it's not every couple that would have to go through long distance. But I'm very glad that we had that little test in our relationship, and that really solidified us and really brought us closer to each other. And yeah, that is all, guys. Those are the 4 things that I can think of right now that I'm very glad I did with my partner before we got married. Let me know in the comment section if you're married, if you're in a relationship, what are some things that you did with you're glad you did with your husband before marriage, or and if you're not married yet, what are some things that you hope to do with your partner before marriage? Let's continue the discussion in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. I hope you guys are enjoying all the vlogmas videos so far, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.